Hey, we are tWoTcast episode 349. That's a lot.
Pretty.
All right, everyone, shut the f*** up.
Wheel of Time. Reread podcast. Explicit and R freaking rated. John is the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast!
You're viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time Reread podcast, now exhaustively covering the Wheel of Time Companion. Tonight, I am joined by the lovely, the wonderful, Jono!
Jono.
Hey, Jono! And I'm Joe, and Tom's here too!
Study your math. 349 feels like a lot.
I know when I
Is
said
it
that
too
out loud, I was
many?
like, ugh, that's gross.
Feels like
Tom,
too
do
many.
you know where root of 349 is?
What is square root of
Is it
349,
69?
Jono?
Somehow?
It's not 69.
I mean, I knew it wasn't, but
Let's see. 15 is 225. I don't know, something like probably like 17 or 18.
Study your
something,
math,
my
Jono.
guess.
How do you not know
I-
the answer?
what did you just
Why
ask?
did I make that? I've got a calculator.
Hello.
Uh,
What
I
a
thought it
day.
was a joke that was going to be involved there.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, boys. I miss you. Love you. It's been too long.
Hey.
That's awkward.
I miss you. I miss you.
Kinda put me on the spot.
Just said twat-wast is how my daughter says it. Your
Oh, your
daughter
daughter
should never
should
be
know
watching
this.
this show.
No, it's a lot of problems with that.
There's a lot to unpack there. I'm concerned
also
on multiple
some-
You can
levels.
tell this guy doesn't have a kid because like my mind was like, oh, rein it in. Don't have a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
no,
she's
there
a
were a lot-
full-grown adult with a speech impediment, or he's a bad father.
there were a lot of jokes to be
Yeah.
made there. Those are the only two options.
Yeah. Neither of which were allowed.
So, we have a special guest here tonight. Should we bring
Who
our
was the
guest out?
special guest? I think that it was mentioned on Twitter that the special guest was going to be the fourth tWoTcast.
That's true. Yeah,
Is that
the fourth
correct?
tWoTcast of our podcast, not.
Oh, small disclaimer is necessary.
Anyway, Warren is here. Look, you don't know him, but he's basically our fifth Beatle. That's what I put on the
What's
thumbnail, and Lauren saw it. She's like, "Fifth Beatle," huh? And I was like, "Yeah, basically."
Welcome,
It's
Pete Best to
kind
this
of
show.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Warren.
thanks for having me. It
Hi,
feels like
Warren.
long overdue. You know?
I mean,
Nice.
of all, like, it only took us 13 years to have the
years.
person that was basically almost part of the podcast.
I can't believe you
on the
slid in
podcast.
right under 350.
Yeah.
It was close. I thought I really thought you guys were going to hold out to like 500, but then once again, it's like, are we going to make it that far? I don't know. So
I mean,
yeah,
Good chance. Yeah.
Probably not. Tom will be dead, and you'll have replaced
And they
him by then
do-
anyway. So
Yeah,
you'll be on
Warren's
every
that
episode.
early.
okay, good. At least we have
I
a
don't
plan.
like-
So
Invite Pete Best to Beatles reunions. They just don't do it.
Yeah.
it makes it hard when
Yeah, eventually he'll be the
Okay,
only one. Unless he's
It's all a part of the plan for me to take over.
Pete Best plays a long game.
Jono's
it's
actually
taking
healthy,
forever.
so
Really
he'll still be
unnecessary long
around.
game.
Violet will replace me, and it'll be a really weird conversation between the three of you guys.
Weird.
making
That's
Violet.
weird.
Yeah.
making sense
Uncle
to
John
people
was
who are
making
watching.
sense. I'm sorry, Violet. Yeah.
How many times are you guys going to talk over each other tonight? You're already on like 5. 7.
So
10?
87 more.
All right.
Literally the only thing we ever did.
I know.
Yeah. So, Warren, tell us about yourself. How did you start listening to Wheel of Time cast?
How did I start listening to it? Oh well, I think it was basically at Tom's mom's house or Tom and Joe's mom's house. We would sit around outside in a not fancy setting, usually in little camp chairs.
Yeah.
Typically at 2, maybe 3 in the morning. Usually a lot of alcohol had already been consumed, and
Sounds right.
then we would just go off on our rants, and sometimes it made sense, other times it didn't. Much like the current show here.
Much like this,
So,
this actual podcast. Yeah.
This is like a look back at how a band got together.
Is this the true Hollywood story? Is that what this is?
Yeah, the True Hollywood Story podcast.
What's that VH1 show about how the bands fall to a million pieces? That's probably more good.
Yeah, that's probably.
Is there, or is there not, a small outcrop of me growing in your head?
Oh, that's true.
There's a possibility of that. I'm not. That was a little
One
fuzzy.
small piece of Jono's
one of the
tooth
many
is
fuzzy.
lodged in Warren's skull.
Yeah, one of the many fuzzy nights discussing all of this and talking about it. Oh yeah, there I am. Yeah.
This tooth right here is stuck in your head, your skull.
I think I still have that dent somewhere in here. Yeah.
I'm sure you do. You hit each other's heads pretty hard. For our viewers and or listeners, Warren stood up really quickly, and Jono was standing right over him. And
I was singing Lion King to the man like anyone would do.
I know. I'm trying. I'm just saying where you're
perfectly normal. Wednesday night or something. It didn't have to
just
be
super drunk, stood up super fast, and then Jono's tooth went into his brain. It's not a big deal. It's fine.
You're in our early 30s.
Hey, I wasn't. You were. I was
long ago.
I was in my late 20s. Either way, the point is way too old for any of that.
That was
all right. Well,
most
today's
of our
episode of tWoTcast is brought to you by the letter W for Warren, the fourth member of tWoTcast that never was.
I do have to point out that Warren said, I texted him. I was like, "You want to be on the show?" And I told him like what we've been doing with the companion. He's like, "Oh, you must be running out of people with W's." No. And I just kind of laughed, and like literally every single show starts with a W. We could pick 10 billion other people.
Yeah, that's true.
Shanda asked me, I was like, you know what today is? It's W. She goes, oh, you're going to have Wendy on the show? And I was like, no.
Here's Wendy.
I was like, we've had Wendy another celebrity that was unavailable.
We went down the list of 47 other Wheel of Time shows, and none of them could make it.
They're all W's.
Or they hate us.
That's what
they're all W's.
Yeah.
This would have been the easiest one to actually get a guest for. You should be honored.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Many letters we were just like, I don't know. And then for W, we were just like, let's get Warren.
What jersey are you wearing? Warren, what jersey? What jersey are you wearing?
It's a Wrexham.
Is that Wrexham? Okay, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, Wrexham's away.
I guess. Yeah. Welcome to W. Yeah.
I looked into getting one of those recently, and they were all sold out, and I was very disappointed.
I got the home jersey pretty early on, and then it took a while to get the second one, just because. And I just randomly tried one day and was able to get one. But yeah, they haven't really restocked too well. But
looking.
Yeah, amazingly, the fifth tier Welsh team didn't have a huge
stock of shirts.
Of shirts, yeah. So
they weren't prepared for the mass audiences of a documentary that would bring them.
I guarantee that if I actually went to the store, the team store at the stadium, that probably have a lot better luck. But
yeah, I'm sure.
That's it's a little far for a weekend.
Nope.
Well, surprise! Your guests on tWoTcast get tickets to no, they don't.
We're flying one of our lovely viewers to Wrexham.
Ding Dang Dong.
And you're going to stay at the...
Yes, the Ding Dang Dong. Never not funny.
How rude was Warren that you thought Joe was a better choice? Warren wasn't... He was going to be the fourth person on the podcast. We didn't... Jono didn't replace Warren. That's not how that worked.
That's what people seem to be inferring.
Apparently.
I mean,
They're just
yeah,
like, well,
we're-
Joe and Tom, they're brothers. They have to be
Yeah.
together.
We're related. Clearly, it was going to be the two of us. And then somehow we picked Jono. Wait a minute. This is a really good question. Let's unpack this for
like there was resumes. Like, I see here you've been reading The Wheel of Time since 1985. That's interesting.
cereal
Was it
box.
printed then?
Yeah, I remember Joe had the breakup talk with me before it even really started. Like, hey, these things don't really work well with 4 people. So, and Jono has a regular job, so he can be there every time.
It sounds like what you're saying is Tom made me say something to you.
You can see
it felt like that. Yeah.
you can see that they don't work well with 4. It's already not working great. And it
We've
has
had a
been
guest
for
on every
the entire
podcast for
alphabet.
this year. Sometimes multiple. All right. Well, I mean, back to the point of this show. We are covering.
I kind of want to hear more of Warren's response.
Well, we can talk about that through the show, Jono. We just need to get past this intro song.
We do a lot of songs.
So rocking in the sky, but if it's injured, it won't fly. Take a look, it's in the book of Wheel of Time Companion. Friends can go anywhere, but he has to know the embarkation to go and open a portal. Mad jokes about anything. Write daily cards on page 95, the Wheel of Time Companion. Because we'll read them now and it's to the Patreon.
I love
Tom.
Taffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that. It's my favorite part of the song.
You gotta make it work.
That was my first time
Oh, where's
actually
my
seeing the graphics going along with it. So
Yeah.
I only heard the song. It made it so much better. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good.
Taffy
The
does good work.
graphics are-
What can I say?
Incredible.
Yeah, they illuminate the story. I mean, you wouldn't know otherwise.
Are we
What
diving
embarkation
in?
to go
Yeah,
is.
at the beginning. Warren, have you
Alright,
actually
well-
read The Companion?
not all of it. I have read the W's
Good work.
Huge.
That puts you way
Yeah.
ahead of almost
And
every
it
guest
was
you
more
ever
of a
had.
it was more of a skim through, really. But because
Yeah.
I was actually I
That's
started
right.
it probably like you guys started this whole conversation on the campaign. I'm like, really, how much is in each letter? And
a
I
lot.
started it off. I'm like, some of this is great, some of it's not so much, but
Can I do
I-
triple entries in honor of Warren?
Yeah, sure.
Well, just because the word war, really, that's it. Just
What's it?
look,
I got
it's
it.
a
I made
reach.
it.
It's a reach. Just go to page 789, The War of Power, and just Joe, read the second sentence.
Beginning shortly after the attempt to free the Dark One, it soon involved
Oh,
the
the
whole
third
world.
sentence. The third
Oh, okay.
sentence.
In a world where even the memory of war had been forgotten, every facet of war was rediscovered, often twisted by the Dark One's touch in the world, and the One Power was used as a weapon.
All right, so jump to page
I think this
790
one
real
in the
quick
world.
790. Okay.
and read War Man.
I like to put a
The
pause in
Ogier
there.
term for a soldier in the Age of Legends.
They were rediscovering everything about war. The best they could do for a soldier. Name of the soldier is War
I
Man.
don't know. He's a man that went to war. What do we call him? I don't know. War Man? Makes sense.
Those two things just back to back on those pages just kind of make me laugh.
What do we call that guy forging weapons? Hammer Man?
Yeah.
You guys are bad.
What about that?
I thought you were writing books.
What about that shooty bullet rectangle? What do we call that thing? The guy, I feel like he named it. War Man.
War Man's good. I like that one.
You remember that bit on Lost when
Fight, dude. Thank you, Noman Garden.
Winner.
That was good.
that bit on Lost when they find the Volkswagen with the skeleton in it, and the guy has wearing the jumpsuit and it says Workman on it. And Hurley thinks the guy's last name is Workman. So it's just like it's work,
Yeah.
man.
It's
It's basically what that is. War man.
He was a
Which makes
janitor.
me think of which makes me think of Mike Myers and doing his bit in So I Married an Axe Murderer. He's like, hey,
You're talking
man.
Jono's language.
So
War man.
It's just war, man.
Man.
That's what I hear when I.
Just any word that ends with man. Whoa, man.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of actually.
If you turn also
Yeah.
on 790 is Warren, almost the fourth member of tWoTcast. I thought that was interesting. That was a good one.
No, it's
It's interesting
Worrell.
that they put that in there.
Worrell Ellen. It just says C. Ellen Worrell.
I don't know who this Lauren Michelle O'Hara is, but she said start every sentence with "in a world."
You know what my guess is? I bet she wants to suck
Yeah.
your dick, Joe.
Oh, whoa. Jesus, Jono.
Just a guess. Just a guess. And I've been in a hotel with you.
I just enjoy the idea that, like, in the future, instead of like showing this show to your kids, you're just gonna have to burn the archives.
Yeah, I know. Just somehow scrub the internet of this.
All right, well, I'll
Hopefully
take care of
they
that.
won't figure it out until they're at least 18. Dad has a lot of weird late night meetings in his office. I don't really understand.
Has
what's
for
going on.
years, every Tuesday.
Yeah, he wakes up drunk on Wednesdays. I don't understand it.
I think it's more likely when Violet's like a little more aware of the world that she thinks that you do a podcast about the Wheel of Time or that you're having an affair. It's probably an affair.
If I was still leaving the house to go do the podcast, she'd probably
Yeah.
think I was having an affair.
And then she finds out that it's this podcast and she's
Wait, it's just
like,
a
"That's
podcast about books?
No. Somehow sadder.
Somehow sadder.
Yeah, she's gonna be just disappointed. Like I thought Dad was hanging someone. It's just Jono and
No,
Tom.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, it's just a bummer. Jono, what's your entry? Give me one.
Yeah, we got.
I want to talk
this
about my
podcast.
wait a minute Vine on page 788.
Wait, 780. Oh gosh, right off the bat. Wait a minute, Vine.
That's it.
A thorny
Feel free to
vine
make-
found in Altara. That's it.
A wait a minute Vine just seems like it could be like, I don't know what the opposite of roofie is besides Flory. Thank you. But like, is it something you take to kind of like, like maybe not come instantly? I don't know.
It's.
It does seem.
Wait just a minute. Are they both frozen?
It looks like it.
I mean, we're fine, right?
That was
All right.
they waited a minute. Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. Jono's still on his wait a minute Vine.
Oh, he's stuck.
Oh, he's good now. Wait, maybe not.
I know. I was gonna do one before he came back because it would make sense to the two of you, but not to Jono.
Oh, he's back.
I just want to go two entries up on that same page. That's just Nightcrawler, right?
Kurt Wagoner. It's a deep cut X-Men joke. Oh, well, not really, but if you don't read comics, you're not going to understand what the hell we're talking about.
I went so far as to look at other entries to see if I could find other X-Men names that I just happened to miss as we had gone through this. But I
Yeah,
couldn't.
you're just like, is there a Summers Comma Scott?
I was like, is there? Yeah, I looked for Summers, Scott, and I looked for Rasputin, Peter. Didn't
Hey,
find
that's
it.
that's the next one I was gonna say. Tom, are we brothers?
I mean, pretty classic. I
A
didn't
man
go
from the
so
Two
close.
Rivers who fought in the last battle at the field of Marilor. He spoke to Rand about how bad things looked. Rand reassured him.
He had blue skin and could teleport.
Jesus, Rand.
It's a weird footnote, right? You think that would have been first? As Bruce Campbell.
Yeah,
And a tail.
he had a strangely odd amount of fingers.
And the smell of sulfur always going around him.
Oh yeah, Smell of Sulfur. I forgot about that one.
He
It
was
would
the
have,
best
you know what?
character
At the
in
last
Blade
battle though,
Runner.
would have been that weird to see Kurt Wagner teleporting all over the place. It would have been that strange.
Here's the hero of the horn.
Memphis.
He was spun out. It's all right.
Aside from the blue skin and pointy ears, like he would have fit right in.
I mean,
I don't think
teleportation
Blue Skin
plays
is that weird.
quite a big role
Yeah.
in the final book.
Jono,
I know,
Shout out.
Jeff.
you got one?
You're
Oh,
the
I
one
do.
that had 100 entries. I mean, I've got a few more.
I've got 100 inches. Yeah.
All right,
I want to go to war, and I have I've got literally 4 or 5 different things to talk about in Warder.
Warder. Gotcha.
All right.
What page did you say?
7, 8, 9. War
Oh,
Dare.
yeah. So I'm not
You
changing.
broke up.
pages.
You broke up.
Also known as Guideen. All right. What do you have to talk about, John?
Man, if John is the one with all the notes,
It's gonna be bad.
God damn,
It's
why
gonna be a
is
good
my
show,
internet
It's like,
boys.
ooh, it's bedtime.
Yeah,
Well, you're
give me a
back.
I
short
mean,
episode.
I think I could carry us with the 4 that I have left. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, Lauren's talking about when we were talking about Violet, but she said she was disappointed it wasn't a puppet meeting. She did ask me specifically if it was a meeting with the puppets.
Yes, it is.
Warren, there's a Wheel of Time show, and they use puppets instead of their faces. Violet loves it.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's got to be the dumbest, best community since Community.
Yeah, that's true. That
I
tracks.
like how you brought it
Good
back
job.
there.
Tom, you like that? Yeah.
No, read your entry. Tell us about Warders, for fuck's sake. Give us something to talk about for when your internet freezes again so we can vamp.
I got 4 things on here. All right. We're going to start with the last one.
Okay.
So on page
I'll highlight
790.
that in a second. Yeah, 790.
All right. So there's a mention here that let's see, it's that the water bond itself is one of the most subtle kind of like pieces of spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unlike with compulsion, the bond could be touched using flows of spirit to make the one bonded obey. However, the one forced to obey knew the force was involved unless the touch was very, very light. It does not say whether or not, like, if you and I are bonded, Joe, whether Warren could come in knowing where the bond was and tickle my fancy slightly and tell me what to do.
So you're saying like it doesn't expressly omit the fact that another Aes Sedai could somehow tickle the bond. Is that what you're saying?
Feels like a reach.
What if they even did it?
Correct.
What if they did it forcefully?
Correct.
Would it matter? Because would they not assume it was their own Aes Sedai? No, I guess not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
guess
the
it
whole
doesn't.
point is,
I
like,
feel
if
like
you're,
that's
like,
a
that
thing between
subtle,
just the two people, though, right?
That's how I always read it.
if you're that subtle, like, you're open to suggestion, right? Like, it's kind of like, hey, you know what? You're open to suggestion.
Through the bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bond implies it's between you and the other person.
It
Bond.
doesn't, though. The bond is
The bond
actually
is located
implied
in the
to
prostate.
bond is located. So why Shizzle's done his reading, right?
Yeah.
Why Shizzle's done his reading? It
Yeah,
never
you're just gonna-
says.
A subtle touch, you know.
Yeah. It just lay the tongue.
Yeah, and
There.
then they don't know they're being compulsed.
Yeah. On a more scientific note, let's see, just a few sentences above that. So apparently, a water bond, which makes sense. Like, it doesn't have to. Like, the Aes Sedai doesn't have to die for the water to go insane. If she is, just stilled or burned out, the water will still go insane, which explains a lot of what goes on with Swan's Ashman. Or Ashman, wow. Warder, whose name is, I forget what his name is, but he's kind of useless
his
and
name, too.
dies because why the fuck not? Yeah.
I was curious
it's
about
Dick
that.
4.
Is there because it just says severed involuntarily, and obviously death is one of the few ways to do that, but what other ways could you do that? Is it just being cut off from the power? Or could someone find a way to do
I assume she can do it herself. Like, she could probably unravel it.
but not on
Without
well, that
him
wouldn't be
going.
involuntary.
What about help?
I assume involuntary for both parties.
No, Jono's not okay.
I don't know.
Yes, he is having an episode. Ebony. Also, Ebony said, "I'm here to meet the Watt friend of tWoTcast. I've never been to Jordan Con." Warren,
It's
explain
you.
yourself.
Why I've never been to Jordan Con?
Just say hello to Ebony.
Yeah.
You can move on.
Oh, hi, Ebony.
Yeah, you gotta say hi.
You don't have to explain
It's
shit.
okay. You don't have to explain it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I've never been. We talked about it for years, just never made it.
Some people
Yes.
like that kind of thing, and some people don't.
I got two more in order,
What's next?
which are both relevant. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
So it says here that the Aes Sedai knows the moment and manner of his death. His being the warden. That leaves a lot of questions, like moment and manner. Like, is it just like, like he died arrow through chest, or is it like how specific, like asphyxiation, or Warren died jerking off, hanging from like a belt that had like fallen over, like the thing had gone wrong. Like, how specific is Warren's death?
I think it would be specific to. I mean, when they say the manner of death, I feel like it's like the actual thing that happens to the body. Like he ran out of air. Does she know he was strangled? Maybe not.
Yeah, because I think you
you
understand the mental state as well.
Yeah, like I mean, you could tell. Could you tell he was drowning versus being strangled? Probably not. But you could tell that he like asphyxiated and died. Kind of maybe.
You can tell the difference between an accident and murder for sure.
Yeah, because you're feeling the emotions and whatever he's feeling, right? Yeah. Unless it was just a quiet murder.
I feel like it's possible. Well, then it would be surprise.
Strangled twice over.
We have to figure out the most
like a potato.
bizarre way for a warder to die, where the Aes Sedai would absolutely not be able to figure it out.
Would she feel his orgasm just before expecting? Of course.
I assume so.
Of course you would.
Could be very.
She'd be like, he experienced extreme orgasm feelings.
Extreme.
If you get bonded, would you ever jerk off again?
Yes. Well,
Every time you're just like,
Jono would do it all the time just to be like, I'll show you how to
Hey, do you
stab.
feel that? Do you feel that?
So the next part here, it's in every fucking thing. Like it's the top of the on page 790. What the Aes Sedai gains from the bonding is a closely held secret. Like, well, the answer is obviously like they have stressful jobs, right? No doubt about it. But this warder, it's a dude. He can crank one out instantly because of kind of like the way a bond works. She's getting wet too. Next thing you know, it's a circle. It's a cycle. It's all going well.
It feeds back into itself very easily. It's like money in porn.
Yeah. Back loop 69. Therefore, that's really the symbol of stocking orders.
So
Owen Garden's got a good point. We did have that in the book, didn't we? I mean, like there's specifically a warder that died from ecstasy.
Sure.
Yeah, when I think it's Scourge is torturing one of the warders in like book 6 or 7 or something like that. She finds out that just by like mentally fucking with this guy's prostate, like the Aes Sedai is sitting there like shocked,
break,
and the warder ends up biting his own tongue out or something like that.
Yeah.
It was the Aes Sedai and the warder that Halima pretended she was friends with. What was that?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sabrina Mercedes.
Come on, Wada Holocaust.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Mulcahy.
to pronounce it, Tom. It could be anything.
Yeah,
Cabrina?
but-
Cabrina? I don't know.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Let's
correcting
go with
himself, so I assume he's right.
What if he does it 5 more times?
Labrina?
Gotta be right. He's correcting himself. Slowly.
Yeah, but you just don't randomly jerk off like in a shower.
No, I never jerk off in the shower. The shower is not. I'd rather jerk off before the shower.
Yeah, but what if
I've
it's
never
just like
understood
she's like, "Hey, I need you to go into the city and do this morning." Like, okay, I'm just gonna eat breakfast and I'll go. And then like right before you go, like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of this real quick.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. She knows. She's just gonna knock on the door and be like, "Hey, we have things to do."
Warren, this is what we talk about, okay?
I think that's why the warders are always so intense and angry all the time.
I got no release.
I was jerked off in 42 years.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I think that's why they put out the facade of like, but in reality, I can go crank one right now, and this chick I'm bonded to, she'll get horny instantly, and I can go fuck her. Like it's amazingly like a good just like mental loop for them all. Like I think this is what the whole point is.
Apparently, we have to stop letting you say everything that flows into your brain. But I mean, trying to filter
podcast
Jono
cancer.
is next to impossible. By the way, Ebony. Like
Yeah,
we
that
know
would
what
be
we're
the
doing.
end
We've
of
been
the
doing
show.
this a long time. Also, hi, Ebony.
Also, do you know how
I was just on her show last
down this
night. Go
is?
watch Dragon Mount after this. Drive up those views, so I'm a valued guest.
Was that all your Warder stuff?
For now, I mean, I'm sure we'll get more sex jokes, but we can go to the next one.
Spaghetti Carbonara was her name.
Do you want to go to the White Tower on page 797? I have literally one comment.
Wait, what? What page?
797 White Tower. The answer is big old
797.
cock.
I don't know why I heard something else.
It just, in the first paragraph, it just says that they resolved to create a new city in 47 AB, and after considerable discussion, they began work in 98 AB. It's been 51 years.
Yeah. Have
That's
you
a-
ever met women?
It's a long talk. It's a long collaboration.
Or do you think it was slowed down?
Maybe they
because
were
of the,
scouting locations and they settled on Vagina Island. It took them a while to find it, though.
No,
They didn't have.
they already
It
found
wasn't
that.
mapped. They were it wasn't mapped yet.
You think?
In fairness, it
You would,
does,
you would think
you
they'd
had to
find
find
out
out
pretty
here.
quickly.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Think what?
I was going to say, is you'd think that would have been one of the first places they found since Dragon Mountain's
Since-
right there.
yeah.
It's a big
Dragon Mountain's right
smoking, Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, we just walk right out the door and there it is.
They're just on Dragon Mountain. They're like, there it is.
Yep, got it.
Maybe-
Well, I can tell you from my own pursuits, it was not quick.
Maybe it took
To find
51
Vagina.
years of debate because they were just like, we're not building the city below a goddamn volcano.
Yeah.
They're just arguing about it. It's far enough away, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that like a Yosemite kind of like super volcano kind of scenario that's about to explode in any second, or is it just like done and they're like, yeah, it's constantly
I think it's
smoking, but it's all right.
Pompeii. It's
Or were
still
they just
smoking.
getting like they put down a deposit and then the contractor like every year for 51 years was just like, oh, we're just going to finish putting in these people's pool and then we'll be right over to start working.
They're really busy. Half of those contractors are Ogier, and they were all war men at the time.
Right?
They had to learn stone.
I love to see Tom's been done badly by a contractor or two already. It's just all right.
All right, what else you got, Jono?
I
Do
would
you have
say,
anything else on the White Tower while we're there?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I thought we were moving on. Sorry. What's your other points in the White Tower?
On the White Tower, nothing. I want to go to page 796.
It was literally to watch over the volcano. Why would you assume that? Is that a thing? Do they have to keep watch on Dragon Mount? Why would
Also, you
I-
can walk
I would
over a
think so.
volcano if you're below. You have to build a much smaller tower. Not even
Much taller
close.
tower?
It's only 40 stories.
796.
They build the White Tower, and they're like, the person commissioned is like, this isn't tall enough. Not by half. Start over.
The hell have we done?
Let's take another 50 years and talk about this.
Elida is the
Yeah,
only person figured out. And that's why Elida tried to build the tower higher. She's the smartest Aes Sedai.
Did they? I mean,
Uh,
I kind of forget book 14.
796.
Did they like finish that part of the tower? Is that like
No,
was that
all of those
ever talked about?
contractors were dark friends.
So they were readily available and
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, we'll come onto the White Towers island
Yeah.
to start building for you.
They
They
were
say
pretty
every
much
time
crabs.
Every time an Aes Sedai hires a contractor, it doesn't go.
Not bad. Swan gets overthrown.
It takes
Crabs
50
in
years
Elida's
to make
tower.
one building, or yeah, everyone does.
In case it sneaks away.
All right.
Um,
796.
Ebony
White.
said, "Hold on." Ebony said, "I don't know if they knew where the dragon would be reborn. If so, that would make sense. But I don't think they did either. So I don't.
They
I don't
did
think
not.
That's a thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
They did not. No, that wasn't something until Galena's viewing.
I'm saying that
Mhm,
emphatically, and it was also Katara. And if anybody corrects anything that we're saying here, don't post it.
Oh, you're right.
Thomas.
Yeah, wrong
you're
G.
good.
You're right. Yeah, Galena is that fucking bitch from. Yeah, whatever.
John, it looks like you need to go back and read your section G of the Wheel of Time Companion.
All right. Being on the G spot, I want to go to White Hen Pepper, page 796. It's literally the same page we've been looking at.
Short entry.
Thank you for noticing.
What am I reading?
White Hen Pepper.
Oh, White Hen Pepper.
It really covers all the bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Just in
Warren,
case.
Warren, you get to read it because Joe is bad at this.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. A white hen pepper is a plant that could soothe a toothache or dye hair black.
What color is it?
Black hen pepper. That's
white.
what he just said.
White hen pepper
Seems like it's white.
that can dye the hair
What's it do for a
black.
tooth, which is supposed to be what color?
What if it's a black plant and they're like, what are we going to call this? White?
It just seems like such a weird,
It's
like,
Rakist.
it doesn't fit.
Is there more than
Welcome
one
to the
hen
show.
pepper that I
We
just
point out
don't
logic
remember?
fallacies.
Was there a red one or a blue one?
No, not
A
that we
red hen
know of.
pepper?
Not yet.
It's just the white.
No,
That's
you're
that's the only one
overthinking
mentioned.
it. It's as dumb as it sounds.
Galena is the Aes Sedai who is confirmed to be, in the book, to be hot in the sack. And that is true. They literally wrote that.
It's 796. The bottom
All right.
entry. White shakes.
A disease causing fever, coughing, and the
That's
loss
enough.
of one's senses. It could be fatal if not treated.
What's your point?
I
here?
get the white shakes every day.
No.
Damn it,
That's
Tom.
racist.
Dumbest
Okay.
Oh,
joke.
this is good. So upset about all of it. Go to page 806.
Okay.
Worms.
All right, worms. Constructs created from the Age of Legends when they were known as Jumara. They were huge, vicious creatures created by Agenor, living in the Blight and traveling in packs. They were powerful enough to kill Fades. To be killed, they needed to be cut into pieces. Under certain conditions, they transformed in some unspecified way.
They're dragons.
Yeah,
I'm never
right, yeah.
going
Yeah.
to not believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're supposed to believe.
Ebony just read
Everybody
Silk
shoots
Open
it down.
for the you know what's it called, white shakes.
The white shakes. It's good.
A disease causing fever, coughing, and the loss of one's senses. It could be fatal if not treated. Yeah, I think that's yeah.
Or a cold,
had
or
the COVID
flu,
pandemic.
or
Jordan
Anything.
predicted the COVID pandemic
and dragons.
and dragons. I've always
I've always
bought
assumed
into your
dragons.
weird fan theory that the worms are dragons, Tom. I love it.
I don't think that's weird at all. Like what else? Like they're literally called worms, and it's like so many different like W-Y-R-M-S.
Yeah, but with
Yeah,
like a W
change the
or-
O to
yeah.
a Y. It's just super obvious. I feel like it's shot down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been like a
Got it.
Dune type thing. Or
That's
a
what I always
Boba
kind of
F-
envisioned, actually.
Yeah, Boba Fett falls into a pit type of animal.
Sarlacc?
Yeah,
How do you go
Sarlacc
there? How do you go there?
Sarlacc.
We're not going to. We don't want to do Tremors. We don't want to just pretend Jordan was watching Tremors when he wrote that.
Maybe he was.
It's entirely
He's
possible.
Sorry,
like,
Kevin
that
Bacon."
Kevin Bacon. He's adorable. Let's put some of those in the
Wasn't Kevin
plate.
Bacon supposed to be one of like the? Wasn't Kevin Bacon one of the influences for other characters?
Oh, one of the
at one
character
point?
images? I don't remember. There
Yeah.
was a
I
lot of like random actors listed.
I would assume as the wheel circles around, we get into a different age of mythology, kind of fantasy, like this one's in.
More like
there's
butterfly,
dragons and
dragonfly things in my imagination.
I was certain you're about to
Get outta
say the
here.
ages of Kevin Bacon.
shit. Oh, seven
Worms, which
ages
is
of
what I
Kevin Bacon.
said.
Right.
Exactly.
Liver. Yeah.
The 7 ages of Kevin Bacon.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
ways to go with that, and I can't think of a single one of them.
You don't have to.
Do you want
just
to go nerdy?
leave it alone and let it marinate.
You're
Yeah,
right.
just let it marinate for a minute, Tom.
Let that joke breathe.
Yeah.
Do we want to go nerdy or do we want to go kind of just dumb funny?
Go nerdy
Worm,
because I need to
cocoon,
think.
emergent beastie. I mean,
All
I
right,
think
let's go nerdy.
I think the key is that the worms would transform into actual dragons. I mean, like, why is there a dragon on the banner? You know,
Exactly where how would they have ever
It's
heard of
gotta
that
be
or come up with that
depicting
name.
something.
What are those certain conditions that they're
Yeah, that's
transforming
what I
in the
like to know.
unspecified way?
Well, I
'Cause, like,
assume
what if
it's
it's
something like
what if it's not so dramatic and cool? It's like, oh, I turned into an earthworm.
Well, that's
Because I needed to.
a real
it
passive.
just
It's-
shrinks down
it's-
and it's gone.
It's like, oh, that's it. It's a garden snake now.
It's a dangerous
not very
creature.
Intimidating.
That's what it
I
means when
guess,
when it says to
unspecified.
cut it up into small pieces. It just turns into earthworms.
Oh, now it all makes so much more sense
Yeah, okay.
and enriches the reading.
It's very unexciting.
Yeah, it's less
Um,
exciting. That is true.
Let's see. It's hard. The problem with going back and forth is I forget everything. Unrelated, I drink a lot.
No, yeah, it's
Um,
not related.
Oh, second, like there's nothing real exciting. It's just Wake of the Breaking. It's a very kind of cool kind of rhyme. It's just a book. There's literally nothing to it. Like
Okay.
Joe, don't even look for it. It's just a book
Well, I'm
that
already
Min's
doing
reading
it, but
in the
okay.
beginning of the end form. But I would have loved a little bit more of how Min gradually kind of becomes kind of Herod Fell's predecessor, or not predecessor,
Mhm.
successor,
Mhm.
his protege. And to me, like when I look back at some of my favorite things, when Rand is learning from Herod Fell, like he's the Dragon Reborn himself, like in full pomp and circumstance and all that shit. But every time he goes to see that guy before he gets torn limb from limb, he becomes just a little like wannabe novice student. I fucking love it. Like it's one of my favorite parts of like the little books.
That his death has always saddened me because it was so.
It's
like,
one of
was
those
he about
fucked
to
up-
like
and
give
it's-
Rand the knowledge of like breaking the seal or the seals or something? What was he about to like reveal to
Correct.
Rand?
Yeah. No, it's exactly about the seals and like how obviously to get here everything has to break and be done. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
let the
Like to
seals.
break the and like to start fresh or whatever. Yeah.
But
That's
honestly,
a shame. He
think
was an
about it.
adorable character, and him interacting
Think
with
about it.
Min was awesome. That whole time period is great. You're right. I love that.
I've had an epiphany.
Oh, what is it?
Herod Fell gets torn limb from limb. Rand finds out. Rand find out. Okay, verb
Rand
part.
find out.
What's the next scene though?
I don't remember. Kidding.
Rand has
No
sex
idea.
with Min. When Rand finds out that Herod Fell has sex with Min.
Oh yeah.
Or
I
has
think we
sex with
joked about that on the podcast.
I'm fucked up already. That's the first thing he does. Is like he sits there and he's angry and all that. Like he fucking nails the thing and throws the piece of wood, the Shanshan spear through it, and Min makes out with him, and then he has
Yeah,
sex
then
with
it
him.
calms him down. Yeah.
You know why that is? She is now the repository. She's Herod Fell.
What's Min?
So Rand secretly wanted to have sex with Herod Fell?
Is that what you're
Yep.
saying? I don't understand.
That's
where you're
exactly what I'm saying. Tom, theory.
going. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I've been listening. It's ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
But-
there we
Or
go.
ridiculously
Yeah.
factual.
Yeah, ridiculous. That's what I meant. Wait, is that what I said?
Was Min
Ridiculously
being
factual.
Doomseer and scooped up by Tuan, Jordan, or Sanderson?
Jordan. That would have been part
Well,
of the
I mean,
outrigger, right?
Well, no,
I think, yeah, because
Swan
I
had already
think
picked her up. Like they were already kind of close. And I can't
I
remember
think
who wrote
there's some
it. That's in
seeds
Water
of
itself.
like where the characters were positioned in the last book, theoretically by Jordan, that would have like translated into like outrigger novels, which we all
Yeah.
know like contains like Matt going with Tuan and like being in the Shanshan continent and stuff like that. So like, why not have Min there too, just to like make
You
it
think-
interesting, or have one of the other characters there?
That's what I was wondering. Do you think he would have planned to have anybody else besides Matt and Min be part of that? Or is it
You
can
don't
only
consider
be
the
if you're
Tuan to be like a part of that? Like
Not
three
from, like, the
sort of main
core.
characters? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Min's
Uh,
from book one, you know. So like, yeah, you're right. I'm sure
'Cause,
it
like-
would have like
not a complete side adventure.
Touched on
Matt
the other
alone.
characters
So
at
Min
least.
goes, and maybe somebody else, maybe Loyal goes.
Maybe.
That would make
Loyal's
sense.
busy
actually.
writing his Rand book.
Yeah, but the adventures aren't done, and of course Loyal would want to see the other side of the world. Right about that too, and be curious about his shit. Did I freeze or did you? His ogre friends on the other side of the world that are wildly different, I would think.
Warren,
Min
what do you
was
think?
definitely going to go with Rand. Didn't Avienda go after Rand at the end?
Nobody went after Rand at the end.
I know they didn't, but they like kind of discussed who would go. They were like, you've been with him a lot.
All-
Min.
all
Like,
three.
Elaine has babies. I'm gonna like. I thought there was like an inference that one of them, more in particular, was gonna go after him first. No,
I don't
I
think
think
so.
there's an
it's all in my
assumption
brain.
men would
It's all
always
in my
go.
brain.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, zombie. Warren, what do you got?
What's that? Like an entry?
Actually,
Or,
I was going to ask you, Warren. No, don't listen to John. I was going to ask you, what did you? So, I mean, because we used to talk about these books all the time when, before we even started the podcast. But like, I haven't really like gotten a chance to discuss it with you since, in terms of like how you felt about the last book, or like what did you feel about, or like how did you feel about Sanderson picking up the last 3 books, and like how did you feel about
I guess
having an
I'm-
ending at all, or that kind of thing.
I think overly. I mean, I guess basically when it all came down to it, I was happy to see the ending. I kept trying to, I guess, tell the difference on, or like go back through and see. Was like, all right, well, here's really where, not just literally where Sanderson took over, but where were Jordan's notes in there? Did it feel, I guess, congruent, or
Right.
a continued story to really just kind of come on. I was pretty happy with it overall. I'm actually doing another. I don't, just like we joked about that at a time. I'm not sure what number of reread I'm on right now, but I really hadn't read the last 3 to 4 books as many times, and so
Yeah, of course.
I think I'm through 11. So getting back into those to kind of dive back into them. I was happy with an ending.
Yeah.
And then just kind of one of like any fan was like, well, could there be spin-offs, or could someone really continue, some of these other, I guess, adventures, stories.
They're just gonna have
what have
AI
you.
write it now.
But then at the same point, I was like, all right, I'm good. I don't want it to necessarily, because I don't want anyone else to come in and screw it up, because we were all terrified with when Sanderson took over. Like, all right, great, they will, because I mean, I guess then
At some point
you guys, I'm sure, had the debate on the show. I was like, all right, well, are the vast differences between the books and the show, are they good for the story? Are they bad for the story? Is there some kind of in between?
I think it's
but
it's
I think
so
kinda
different that
halfsies.
it's like a different thing to me, I think.
It feels more of just like a story in the world, really, than a retelling of the books. It's just kind of happening there, like a prequel or sequel or requel, whichever you have. But
Yeah.
so,
It's funny that the spinoff would be Matt, and Matt was the character that I thought Sanderson did the absolute worst job of capturing.
Well, I don't think that's where that was going to go, right? Like that was a Jordan idea, right? The Outrigger novels with Sanderson, or with Matt going to Shanchan. I don't think that, like, first off,
Also, he had planned like more prequels too. Like it wasn't just what we got with New Spring. It was going to be like a 10
there were supposed to be 2 more prequels. One of which was like how it is that Moraine and Lan arrived at the 2 Rivers on time.
A requel.
Yeah, requel is now my favorite.
I know.
I can't take credit for that. That was in the most recent Scream.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, but it makes sense. It's
The greatest franchise of all time.
well,
Yeah.
obviously.
I mean, if you're gonna borrow from somebody, that's what you do.
Tom always said if he ever had a daughter, he would have named her Hello Sydney. Which I think is the greatest name ever.
I mean, it's a really good name.
Not Sydney.
It's a good
Hello Sydney.
Sydney's like the middle name, I guess.
And if you have a
Or
boy,
so.
the name is what's your favorite scary movie, O'Hara?
What's your favorite scary movie, O'Hara?
It's a really long name. You have to
Is
get
that
creative.
hyphenated or is that?
I'll get creative with the spelling. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's like a hashtag. It all just runs together. So it's just one word.
So, God damn.
Matt had a sense of humor that was Sanderson's absolute Achilles heel.
So true. Ayush is correct.
Ayush,
Also-
you're right.
Yeah.
You're not wrong
I
about
agree
that.
with that.
We've made the joke 1,000 times. It's not really a joke. We made the observation that like there could be nothing further from Sanderson's wheelhouse, who is admittedly a very nice, guy, than Matt Cawthon, who is clearly the breath of Jordan, a Vietnam vet who drinks, smokes, fucks, like that kind of thing. Like that could not be further from Brandon Sanderson as an individual. So please write this man to the bone, right? Like it's clearly not his wheelhouse. But I don't know why I missed it slightly. I don't get it.
I'll be curious to. You should come back and tell us once you finish your reread, since you've barely read those last few books, how you feel about it. I find the change pretty jarring. But then I kind of settle into it. But then every time there's a match ad from, they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I mean, we've talked about this on the show many times over,
Yeah.
but I'll make it quick. I
We've
feel
all
like
done
he
pretty
focused
good.
on certain characters in like book 12, for instance. Like Rand and Egwene are really important in those, and he kind of nailed them, but he didn't get Matt right at all.
No.
And then like later on, in 13, he kind of did the same thing with others and kind of got closer to a good parent. And then I feel like by 14, I liked Matt. But
Yeah, he
like,
dialed in.
I feel like
Yeah.
he worked on what he needed to work on in the book that he was focusing on, and then like got better as it went, sort of thing. So I don't know if
Then we
that
got-
holds up. Maybe I'd feel differently if I reread it again.
Yeah,
You
reread.
Um,
So yeah, you feel again about the 300 pages of Andro. And then
I don't dislike those characters. I feel like they were shoehorned in when you like have so much going on. It's like what
Why-
It's so hard.
honestly,
like,
for me, I just felt like I get the book right. And I'm like, all right, there's 1,200 pages here, and then every single page I turned that was about someone I hadn't been reading about for the last whatever many years.
30 years.
No,
Yeah.
go away, go away, go away, go away.
Knowing Garden said,
people
I'm
like-
on
other
the,
people like
the
that.
Gathering Storm on this reread. Sanderson's Matt doesn't really strike me as bad. I don't think it's bad necessarily. I
Yeah,
just don't
it's
think
just-
It's just, like you said, jarring is kind of the word.
It is the comedy. It's just like it's weirdly over the. I don't know. He's
Yeah,
I
he's a
think
little too
Ender's
cartoony.
Trash
somehow
He's
less,
like-
but also more Matt.
yeah, it's
than
like a
he should be.
caricature of
It's
him.
weird.
It's not
Yeah.
like
There you go.
it's
Yeah.
It's book one Matt. Like it's book one Matt. You're like, this guy's kind of obnoxious.
it's Matt with a giant head and a dune buggy while he's also playing tennis. You know what I mean?
Joe, we should do
You
two things. We
Love
should
it.
put up the spoiler thing, and then we should put up the second thing because we really actually love Sanderson's writing. Pardon us for making fun of it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no,
uh,
Circulate.
with
Sorry
that.
that we didn't say that, but also spoilers.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
I was very happy with
Sometimes
the
I
end.
forget.
If I had any
Yeah.
problem with the end of the books, it would just be that I wanted to know the fate of literally every single character we'd ever read about, which is
And that's what the
obviously
companion's for,
impossible to do.
apparently.
Yeah.
That's what
Do you want to know
we're
about the fate of Elman Bunt's wife? Got it for you right here.
And then I've said it a million times, but man, they did Ruark so bad, made me sad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, page 789.
Alrighty.
Oh, we're
Back
still doing
to it,
this?
boys. Back to it.
Yes, I want to talk about two of my. Well, really, like it's gonna be both a favorite thing of mine, and because you guys didn't read, so you get to listen to the bottom of my
I read.
voice. Fuck you. But also, I think one of the most important things that happened, and there are two entries right next to each other on 789: War of the 100 Years and War of the Second Dragon. Which, by the way, probably a shitty time to live, considering they're on the heels of each other. So these are the two kind of events right after. Well, I guess they're flanking for another event also in this book or in this section of Arthur Hawkwing fighting Gwyer Amalawson and then coalescing his empire and then fighting other, like then dying and shit that happens afterwards. Like honestly, this is the most foundational fucking thing right out, other than the breaking itself. And like everything that happens, if there were to be a novel that was written, I want this period.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, like in terms of a prequel, instead of seeing like how Moraine met Land and like
Yeah.
chased after the baby Rand and stuff like that, and like that, that idea, like it would be really cool to just go like way back and just be like, let's tell this story.
Yeah, if you pick a period where we know very, very little about, that we don't know any of the characters, then you could do a little better.
Blank canvas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I sort of like. I mean, even though it's Matt and Tuon, technically, I mean, who knows what he really like. I'm pretty sure what Alan has told us and Maria is like that the Outrigger novels were basically kind of like a sentence. He had like, this is an idea, like it wasn't really fleshed out kind of thing. But I guess what I'm saying is like the idea of going to another continent that we hadn't seen at all, like, and just like getting a whole lot of context to that is still the same level of interest to me. So I would have been okay with those as well. But like,
it would be more interesting if Semirich hadn't destroyed the entire continent.
Yeah.
Last battle.
Well, I mean, like going over to Chaos is interesting though. You know what I mean? Like, and then, Tuan could be like, oh no, this place was like this before. Or, like whatever you're going to see through their eyes kind of thing. I don't know.
You think it's weird that we have Arthur Hawkwing as like the greatest hero of the Horn, and like the implication just being like he's the leader of all the heroes that come out when the Horn calls him back from the dead, and he's kind of an asshole.
He's only an asshole to the nobles.
And he has to die, and he gets tricked by
he gets
his counselor, and
his counselor is what's his cock? Ishamael.
I know. You kind of wonder if he would just be like so why does that make him like he's Captain America somehow, but not so much in real life.
Well, again, other than this, like the first part, he's great
Captain America, secretly a member of Hydra.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird.
Tom, I'm tired of you. Warren, what do you think?
No, I mean it definitely kind of feels like that. Like it feels like he kind of talks the talk to get everyone behind him, but then secretly has his other agenda that might not be so common man friendly. It's like, well, if you're gonna take over this entire everything, is like, are you really binding things together while you kill so many people? So it feels kind of I don't know, like a little duplicitous. But
so here's a question for you: when you're making like a muffin or something like that, what do you use?
Ignore this.
A broken egg. He's a broken egg. That's what he did.
He made a muffin?
Let's not talk about vagina, but
God damn it, Jono.
It just seems to me that there's heroes of the Horn that maybe are more worthy of being like the lead hero of the Horn.
Name one. Out of time.
Well, I don't think Arthur Hawkwing could
pick
up
Damn it.
Brigitte.
Yeah, Brigitte. Yeah, she's top tier.
Virgin.
She's top tier hero.
Top tier.
I mean, if we're just talking about a guy that's a hero that was flawed and redeemed himself in the end, kind of, I'll just take Ingtar. Get a Hawkwing out of here.
I think Ingtar would be.
Say what you will, but when Hawkwing is actually not under the whoopsie of a Forsaken, what did he do bad?
That's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, but like seriously though, what did he actually do? He defeated the biggest false dragon of his time, right? Who had actually taken over fucking multiple countries. He then created a wonderful for poor people, which was most of the people, empire where you could walk, west to east without being raped or fucking robbed. The 2 R's, which are pretty important to be able to walk on an open road.
Could you be rained on that open road?
You can be rained on all day long.
Well, then you still allow the Dark One of his plans.
Yeah, that's one of his. That's one of his.
1 out of 3 ain't bad. As we learned in Mars Attacks, 2 out of 3 functioning. That's not bad.
I gotta walk this back anyway, because if I'm giving him shit about being under the control of Forsaken, then I'm giving all the 4 great captains a lot of shit. I like
The writers could tell their own stories instead of all the changes we got to the show.
Too soon, White Chisel.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, like he's playing on what we're saying about like making, which is basically what I was about to say. But like we were kind of describing Rings of Power. Like go far enough back and like tell these stories that we haven't seen. Whether you like Rings of Power or not is the question. Whether that's good or bad.
They had to make the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy before we got Rings of Power. So
yeah, that's true.
We're gonna have to make whatever this thing is first.
All right, let's get back on track. Warren, tell us your thoughts on the show.
On the show, I guess like a lot of fans, mixed reactions. I kept trying to. I need to actually rewatch it again just to kind of reabsorb it. But I mean, I thought that there were some cool things, just visually, that I hadn't quite imagined, or that just the the weaves of the power, or whether it was from an Aes Sedai or Sadar.
A male.
And I was like, all right, well, or a male. I was like, oh, well, those are cool. I was like, it has kind of described like that, but seeing it visually was different, which was kind of cool. I think it was the kind of the internal battle of, am I happy that they're doing the show? Is that outweigh the being very close to the books and being religiously close word for word. I understand you have to obviously make some changes to adapt to live action and that kind of thing. So it was that kind of, I don't know, emotional, moral, or spiritual internal battle. Like, all right, I'm glad it's being done, and it's being done well visually, but would I like it to be a little more
like accurate.
Right. Yeah.
So we rewatched it really quickly for this show. So like we watched it and then we watched it again to talk about it on our show. So I watched it twice, like really fast, and then I waited a really long time, and we were doing this. We do this dumb tWoTcast for the charity stream in December. So I rewatched it all to get questions for the show from just the show, and I have to say, like the third time around, and it had given me a little time to like just watch it and enjoy it, as opposed to like watching it to analyze it. Like I liked it a lot more, and I was like I was texting these guys going like, I think I sort of like it now. Like I don't like a lot of the things I didn't like. I was like, oh, never mind, that they do kind of answer that, or this does make sense now. And like it, so I think initially it's hard to swallow. On a rewatch, I did appreciate it more. Is all I'm saying.
I think
you can get used to torture, Joe.
Yeah. Warren, what were you gonna say?
Humans are adapted.
The first time through I was just excited that it was being done on such a big scale and bought by Amazon and
like
all
a
those things.
virginity.
Like
losing your virginity.
Yeah, and Amazon was involved, I'm sure. And they recorded everything. It was weird. But the excitement over it happening, kind of outweighed the, being very, I guess, different from the actual source material. But then, watching it a little bit more, I was like, I don't know. Being the purist, kind of, it's like, was it worth it, kind of thing? Like, did it feel like we kind of sold our soul a little bit? And is that necessarily a bad thing?
Yeah,
because we kind of got what we wanted, sort of.
Selling your soul is not bad.
Are you excited for season 2?
And I'm still reaping the benefits.
What's that?
Are you excited for season 2?
Not bad at all.
What about season 2? I'm sorry.
Are you excited?
For goddamn Tom's question, Joe. Stop interrupting. I'm yelling over everyone.
I am. I mean, I'm. It's gonna be. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be weird and seeing how they explain, the Matt recasting. I mean, they're probably not even going to talk about it, but that feels a little weird. It's like, all right, is he going to be able to jump back in? Because I thought that
I hope so.
Matt did pretty well at times.
I liked him.
So I thought he did one of the better jobs of especially of the big three.
I liked him until the last few episodes where he was clearly like cut a lot, and the episode shifted quite a bit because he wasn't there. But like leading up to those last few episodes, I liked him a lot.
Warren, I'm going to give you a 6 out of 9 on the 6 out of 9 scale. You did a great job.
Wait.
Thanks.
Aunt Viv
Did
did
we-
all right.
Joe, do we have the Billy Zane graphic ready?
Oh yeah. It's actually new and improved.
Ratings.
Ratings.
Warren, what would you give it?
On a scale of 1 to 10 Billy Zanes.
The show, as we've seen, I would give it. I'd give it a 6.
A 6.
I'd give it a 6.
That's right. All right. Okay.
Oh, you don't put it on the bottom anymore so we can move our heads?
No.
Wait, it's like the heads like sliding.
It
across.
used to just be like a still.
We used
it
to try to
be a
move our faces.
It used to
to
be a still
land
image
right where
like
you wanted
this,
to do.
and you could just kind of do it. You know, I improved and unimproved it, I guess.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah, we're going to have a group meeting about that.
Yeah, I'm no longer.
Are you kidding? You see that fire? You see that fire?
I know, but I used to like to try to stick my head right in
All right,
between
I'll
them.
figure it out. I'll marry the two somehow.
But
right.
after I do a rewatch, I'll let you know. It very well could go up or down. I don't know.
Page 792. God damn
No,
it.
I have a
Oh.
question for the group. Do
Oh,
we
yeah.
feel like there's a problem that you have to watch it 3 times before you're just kind of like, this actually wasn't
The
bad?
second time didn't count, Tom. I watched it twice.
But you
essentially.
do have a point, Tom. It's like are they just kind of slowly brainwashing me to
Yeah, well,
that
yeah.
now I like it, but I
Well, let me tell you
quick.
something. You watch it 8 more times, you won't hate it.
I had said the
We'll
same
see.
thing to my wife during sex.
Wait, Rafe has mentioned a couple of things that didn't end up the way they wanted, even aside from Barney. So my read was that they got rushed a lot after the second shutdown. I mean, that's probably true.
Gilman Garden is
But
not
we mentioned that a bunch
Rafe.
too.
Maybe I blame Amazon.
Yeah, there was
Amazon.
also a lot of COVID issues and just shooting in general.
If you get to a point
Absolutely.
where you're just like, hey, we can't make this the way we want to, and they're just like, well, you're doing it anyway, then
Yeah.
Look, I mean, look,
I don't have to give concessions for that shit.
Yeah.
no, but it's a weird
insane.
thing, right? Like, where do you stop and like you allow concessions, but the problem is the fact that they keep talking about how much money they've spent, how much they did. Like, why not just say, hey, we got hamstrung. Shit happens. Season 2 is gonna be better, and just let it fucking happen, right?
But if
Like,
season
fine.
1 ends and it's 10 minutes of footage of somebody's dog in their backyard, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And they're just like, well, we lost all the footage and the cameras broke, so this is all we could do.
It's
And
just
I'm not going to be like,
pens.
well, okay, then I guess it was okay. I like that video of your dog. I'm going to say the show sucked.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a cat
Anyway.
video guy. Anyway, let's get back on topic. All
Well,
right.
cat video, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Dog video, 8.
Fuck off. Cat videos are
8 out
always
of 10
fun.
Billy Zanes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to page
Rand
7.
destroying a CGI army from a hilltop could have worked. I mean, yeah, we can keep talking about the show all night. Let's get back to it. Jono, what were you saying?
Warren,
Sorry.
you have thrown us off.
I
God
love
damn it.
going down that.
Oh, sorry, guys. That was all my fault.
No,
Yeah,
it
of course.
was.
Now we're talking about
Honest.
the ways on page 792.
Okay. Oh, I'm weirdly on 792.
You don't need
I
to read
have to-
anything.
I have 2 notes, Jonah, that I'm surprised you haven't gotten to yet.
I've got a lot more notes, man. It's
Right.
shown
Why isn't it
notes
ways,
11.
comma, the? It's just ways.
There's nothing about the ways, like in the actual definition.
The app?
I'm just, I'm just really wishing. I didn't help, man. No, I think that the ways, like when you think about it, like from a fantasy book genre, is there anything similar that you've ever really seen? I think it's a really fucking cool original idea that makes perfect sense for like the texture of the series, right? Like it's
Mhm.
not really dissimilar from skimming, which has its own underpinnings with that kind of like it does a great job, I think, of being a viable way to get around quickly, but also not being something anyone wants to take off in.
Do you think Jordan went from the ways to skimming to traveling because he was just like, we have to get places faster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do sort of.
He's got a calendar and he's like, this is not going to work.
He's
He's like, the
"This-
ways
I
are going to
just
be
gotta-
great. And he's like,
I gotta catch these timelines up somehow.
Yeah, I
Imagine-
can't write three more chapters about people walking on a sidewalk in the dark. I'm just gonna make.
Well, he set the
a
ways
bus
up to
in
be
the
so
dark.
dangerous.
And then he's just like bus in the dark. Also too long. This is exhausting. Just
Bus
walk
in
through
the
door.
dark.
You're in the new
Door.
place you want to be.
Just open the door. The other side of the door is already there.
Warren, your
I mean,
thoughts?
actually, the progression of that makes sense though, to me.
On the ways or the progression of the ways.
Start
I
with
think
ways.
it just, I guess the parts that always cracked me up was when the description of how it was before, before.
Yeah, it's way too nice.
And so
Yeah.
in my head, it's like it's Mario Brothers. It's like everything is happy, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna go in this entrance, and
And then you
it's
go in
gonna
and
be
it's like,
bright and sunny.
oh, you're like, oh shit,
That's
I'm in the blue dungeon.
That's when it changes. That's when it's like the dark ways. Then, so it just
Which
I don't know,
Mario?
I think-
Hold on. Which Mario?
I mean,
I
I was
guess
quoting
that-
classic Mario.
Yeah, the classic Mario would be, I guess, like the dark ways. Like
Yes, when you
like
jump
when
up
it's-
over in level 1, and you can go all the way to wherever you want.
You run across the bricks.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the bright and sunshiny would be what, like Super Mario like 2, I guess, where it's just it's bright, it's sunshiny, it's
With the weird frog.
it's family
bad
friendly.
guy?
Yeah, I don't think that
Yeah,
would
that's
work.
true.
Yeah.
It's family.
Yeah.
I love Super Mario 2. You guys are crazy.
No, it's great.
Do you think it's weird that all the men went insane? They went to the setting to be like, now we can't touch the source. Maybe
and
we
then
won't
there's
go
suddenly
insane.
an angry
And they're
sun
like-
chasing you. So-
And they're just like, so to thank you, we're going to
Yeah.
step back outside of the setting where we're
Yeah.
insane again and use this thing that makes us insane and
And
build
just
you this
fuck it
thing
up.
with our crazy power. And anyway, that's your
What
gift.
could go wrong?
You know what their
Weird
gift was
choice.
inside of it? Nothing. That was it. That's all they could fucking do. They didn't have shit inside the fucking ways, or inside the settings. So they had to walk out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's what I mean. Like,
Rand could have cleansed the ways.
thank
before
God we're
Cycle.
here.
That's an
it
interesting
makes me
thought.
crazy. And then they walk out and they're just
Or like in
well,
conjunction with somehow. Do you think
Because
Rand could have
the
cleansed
ways
the
stayed
ways?
dark, right?
Yeah.
They could be cleansed, didn't they? It wasn't in conjunction. It was still a separate.
Well, cleansing the taint is essentially like, but
Would it get better eventually over
I
time?
don't
one,
think so.
one would
Didn't they mention
assume.
something
maybe
like
it would. Maybe it
Well,
would.
we can assume that though, right? Like if I clean, like, so the whole point here is those who were already like insane from channeling, right? They don't immediately get clean because
Waste of energy.
because like the source is clean, right? Like if I've gone nuts and you've changed side in, I'm still fucking nuts. In this case, the ways is already tainted from literally the taint, right? So cleaning it out.
He said that Shizzle says the cleansing should have done something. We hear Mashadar scream. I don't remember that, but maybe that's.
Mashadar is not much in sin. We do hear Mashadar scream.
Oh yeah, because that
They
way, yeah, right. 'cause
destroy-
it's Shadow Goal. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Separate.
Not
things.
Shadow Goal, Shadar logo.
Oh, Shadow
yes.
Logo. I called Arid Hole, but okay.
Well, I call mine wet hole.
So if you've got the ways that where you've got Mech and Shin just getting more and more evil and stronger and destroying the entire thing, some sort of fabric in between reality and time and space, and then you cleanse Satan, so everyone's just like, why would we use the ways? I can just open a door right here and we're where we want to be. Like,
Yeah.
how bad does that get as time goes by?
I mean, it's a great
I
question,
would
right?
assume the bridges would just crumble, so if you opened a way gate, it would just be like black nothingness.
So now
you
it's
know,
just a giant void of black death,
yeah. Yeah.
And that, I
growing
guess
stronger
what's cool
and
about-
stronger and stronger in between what's holding your reality together in time and space.
Yeah.
That's
Like, that's
fantastic.
what's cool though about like the ways seems like a
But it can never
perfect kind of,
escape. Like, it's
this
never
is-
leaving that.
this is their combination of like, hey, it's a gift, but we knew enough about. Like, we did research maybe in vacuoles and Telorandria. Like we've done this kind of stuff, and like this is a cool way of like long term. You can move from here to there. Unfortunately, we forgot the fact that we're insane going there, and we have some dirty shit on our hands, and so it's not going to be great for you. But still, it's 2,000 years of really easeless, like easy travel, right? Like it's pretty frictionless travel as long as you know how to fuck to go there. Like it's
like
an amazing gift.
You know, like a game show or something where they like to blow through a straw and push something across like a line or something, like something weird like that.
Sure.
Yeah, we talk
Or
about belching a
Matt
lot.
and Shin, the wind can blow the Evan Store leaf off the wall of one way gate and then down a foot and then push it back into place. And then that gate opens and it comes out. That's how you get in and out of the way gate. You don't think the wind can eventually? You think it needs to be tactilely touched?
It's gotta be tactilely touch.
Yeah.
Little 3T there, tactile touch. All right, let's move on.
I can't blow on my iPhone to open it. I have to touch the buttons. You know what I mean?
Wait, it's not an iPhone, Joe.
Yeah,
Sure it is.
it's fucking haptic, goddamn.
Don't stick your dick in a vacuole. It's not like a vacuum. It is.
What you
though.
can do research on your penis forever.
You know,
that
Herbert
implies that
Hoover
he
once
believes,
stayed here.
that implies that we should stick our dicks in
Vacuole
the
guy?
vacuum.
I'm sorry, Tom. I spoke over you with Joe's shitty Home Alone joke.
You're sorry. I'm not going to repeat it. It's not worth your time.
All right, Warren, you got anything?
Why do you keep
I don't
asking?
think so.
Yeah, stop.
All right.
This is more of, and it's probably an easy question. I just went blank when we were talking about Machin Shin. It can't escape, right? Can
It
like
started
if given
to
the
come
opportunity?
out, but I don't
Yeah, it's
feel like
good-
it would have gotten out.
In book,
I think
Like,
it
is
would
it-
have.
It was like bubbling, like the gateway.
Well, it's coming out and
outwards.
basically, and then when the way it closes, then it forced it back
yeah,
in.
yeah.
But if the
It's
gate
like a
stays
weird
open, I
What if
think it would
it
have kept
stayed open?
black
I don't-
mold like in your house, but on the world.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Mhm.
I think that makes sense.
Mhm.
Gotcha. All right.
I don't know.
It does.
If it had stayed open, do you think the Mac and Shin would have gotten out in book 2?
It would just
3?
kept leaking out.
And then it is
Bad
back, and it
pipes.
is back to like a video game where it's just you got this little cloud following you
Yeah.
with evil music playing.
It would
loudly
just
in the
take it
background.
will eventually take over everything. It's like the
Well,
underworld.
Ram would just like
Just do
smash
it.
a box with a question mark on it, get a star, and push it back into the hole.
Of course, either that or the raccoon tail. But
He's just
raccoon
blowing
tail,
it back in with his tail.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one. Go to
All
page
right, go ahead.
799.
What
There,
page is
I'm
that?
there.
Let's just talk about the wild boar. Let's take it all the way home.
An inn found in an Andorran village where Elaine, accompanied by the kin, stayed on her way to claim Andor's throne. Elaine studied a triangle there, a crimson rod that felt hot in a way, and thought of fire. The next thing she knew, it was the next day, and no one would tell her what had happened. She knew it had been something significant based on the expressions of relief and hilarity on the faces of her companions.
Did she have sex with a dildo in front of all of these people?
That's exactly what it is. That is clearly what it is. Well,
And no
technically,
one
the
could
dildo
stop
has to
it? Oh, do you think it's like
And
Like-
no one could stop it.
like a no one could stop?
Oh, man.
I
It
just
felt hot in a way. That's amazing.
That's what you say when you pick up someone weird at a bar. Like,
Or do you just
away?
or does it just
What
like
is
make you
bukkake?
orgasm
It's
in front of
bukkake.
everybody and you pass out?
I mean,
it's probably
there's definitely
both.
definitely something going on there. I
There's
mean, we've
definitely
heard so many
reason why-
Or
theories.
did it fly into the air like a magic rod and just go to town? Which would
Holy
be weird.
shit. Atlas.
Sounds more like a vibrator.
Atlas, Van Deen. They were
Yeah.
two of the people downstairs. They fucking died. I bet she killed him.
Is that? It's like The Ring, and you see her jerk off with a red rod, and then you're like, 7 days later, you get murdered.
Yeah. If you don't use it yourself on a dining room table, you're gonna die too.
All the
That's like-
witnesses from that are dead. They
Was
don't
that
talk
the
about that in
common
the
room?
books. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I love the idea. Is like last study. Like you remember, like in the tower, like all the dream things. Like their last study by Courtney Nadell.
Yeah.
Like that person was like last studied by. Like it's just like why you it out? You know,
7 orgasms and you die.
Castle.
Oh, man.
I want to stay on that page.
Okay. Are
All
you
of
going to
the
top the
widows
red
talk?
rod?
Is that
$7.99.
how all of the widows died?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pick a will?
No, we'll go with widows. So at first I lost my mind and be like, whose name is Widow? But I want you to read, let's see, Joe. And I need you to just read it for me. Let's see. The one below Widow Alphone.
Okay.
You don't have to read the whole entry, Joe.
I wonder why. Are you talking about perhaps the widow anal? Okay. The annual sheep shearing in Emmons Field took place in
Can't
a
believe
space
you're
called the
involved.
Widow Anal's Meadow. Even though no one remembered who she was. What the fuck?
She was obviously the first person in Randland that went bald.
I should have just written like that's the end of the show on that.
I mean,
was
that's
real
what I was going
bad.
to say. That's tWoTcast for this week.
Nailed it.
If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and in theory, we'll get better at responding to them. I keep saying that, but I'm pretty good about it now. You know, leave a comment. I'll say something.
I have more.
Nope.
Let's
You
see,
can
what?
listen to the audio version of the show wherever you get your podcasts. tWoTcast theme song is brought to you by the one and only Taffy Bennington. And Andrew Bart of Time. Links to their stuff is below. Of course, Warren is just our friend, so I did not put any links down there. Sorry.
It's okay.
Wait, Warren, do you have
Just
anything
you really-
friend.
to promote?
Fuck you,
If you
Joe.
really want to, do you have anything to promote, Warren?
I don't. Not now.
Yeah.
Not this time. Next
Should
time
I-
I'll have.
I mean,
a
you're
whole
a
laundry
great
list.
guy. We've known you for many, many years. You know. I mean,
Should I just read
countless.
your cell phone number out and
Yeah,
Sure.
then they can
Sure.
call you
Yeah.
if they have any questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
or text
absolutely. Yeah, either one. At least show a little respect in text.
Hi, Warren.
Warren, thank you so much
Got
for
it.
being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for finally
It's
having me. It only
bizarre
took
that
you
we
13
haven't done
years.
this before. Yeah, it only took a while. Yeah.
I am
It took a
slightly
while.
more dependable these days, so that kind of helps, and a lot more.
I'll
so
see you
for
in 2037
Yeah.
Sounds
14
good. Right around the
years.
time. Yeah.
for episode 699.
Yeah. Six,
Oh,
699.
699.
Yeah.
We got one shy of 700.
69.9.
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right, join us next episode for more Wheel of Time, covering the Wheel of Time Companion and the letter X. It's gonna be a good episode.
I can't
Good
wait.
luck finding a guest with that one.
Can
It's
we
my
Yeah.
favorite entry in the entire companion.
can we cover more things that I wanted to cover today that were actually relevant in the letter X?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. No, we never go back, Jono, but that's the rule. It's a hard, fast rule. Somebody asked me on Ebony's show, or Dragonmount's show last night, about like if we had done multiple entries for some of the letters that had, you know, larger sections of the book, and I was like, nope, just one.
Nah.
Moved on.
We're done.
I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Study your math.
Warren, say goodbye.
Goodbye, Warren.
Goodbye,
All right,
Warren.
Good job. You did.
Hey,
You did well.
good
You
to
did
fucking see you,
Hey,
man.
thanks. You too, buddy.
Keep
See
the
you guys
change, you
next time.
filthy animals.
Come to Jordan.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.